Mr. Nyck, Mr. Nyck, he's our pick. It's Mr. Nyck. Yay!
Hey everybody, welcome to the Mr. Nyck Show, and I'm your host, Mr. Nyck. Today we are continuing our Animals of the World series, and we're talking about animals in Australia. Now I have to tell you, this is our fourth episode. We have done animals from the Arctic, we have done animals from Africa, from the Amazon rainforest, and I have to tell you, these animals from Australia are the craziest animals, the oddest ones I have seen yet. First, let me introduce you to my friend and my co-host, Allie. Hey Allie, how you doing today?
Really good. How are you?
I'm great. Are you ready to see some of the craziest animals we have seen yet on this series?
Yes, and I'm hoping we see some really cute ones too.
We will, and we'll see some other ones that are just a little odd. Let's get started with an animal I'm sure you are all familiar with. It's a kangaroo. All right, so kangaroos are what we call marsupials, which means that they let their young, their babies, sit in a pouch and they develop in a pouch. So like when regular babies are born, or maybe babies that come out of eggs, they're ready to go. They need help from the moms, but marsupials, the babies keep developing in that pouch. Like you see that little baby sticking his head out of that pouch right there. That's cute, right?
That seems really comfortable.
Probably is. It'd be kind of nice. I mean, actually, we do carry babies in pouches a lot, actually. Just, have to strap them on first. And did you know that a kangaroo can get hopping up to 43 miles per hour?
Wow, that's fast.
Very fast. And they're the largest marsupial that doesn't walk. They hop everywhere, and they have huge, large, strong tails that they can actually lean back on to use as like a little chair and kick their feet out at anything that they feel a threat coming at them. So very interesting that they don't walk, they hop, and that tail is really, really strong and powerful too. All right, so that was a kangaroo. I told you it's gonna get a little bit more odd, but we're gonna go with another one that you may have heard of and seen before. It's a koala. Oh, take a look at that koala.
They're really cute.
Now, here's where it gets a little interesting because we always call these koala bears, but a koala is not a bear.
What?
It's not. No, it's actually a marsupial as well. They have pouches as well.
Huh.
Yeah, and koalas, they have very slow metabolism and they must sleep up to 20 hours a day.
Like a sloth?
Like a sloth, if you saw that exactly. In our Amazon animals, sloths sleep so much, they have slow metabolisms, and koalas, 20 hours a day of sleep. That's
I like these cuddly animals that sleep a lot.
They just hang out and sleep all day. Yeah, I don't know if it'd make a good pet, but I mean, he sleeps 20 hours a day, maybe. All right, now let's move on to another animal here. This is a dingo. Now a dingo looks like a dog, and it is basically the size of a medium-sized dog that you would normally maybe have in your house. Now, usually you'll see coyotes and wolves and other dog-like animals in the wild, but this one looks a little bit more like a dog. It does bark also like a dog.
Really?
Yeah, and they have 4 to 5 pups per litter, that's a pretty good amount. And they will eat basically anything. They do not discriminate. And they, even though they're not that big, have been known to actually even eat buffalo.
Wow.
That's a big animal to take down, but I'm sure they hunt in packs, which is how they pull that off. But a dingo, that's a dingo. All right, so we've looked at a koala, a kangaroo, and a dingo, which is like a wild dog. And I said it was gonna be crazy. That's not too crazy yet.
No.
It's gonna get crazy. Let's take a look at a platypus.
What is happening?
It just got crazy. All right, so this guy has the body and a tail like a beaver, but it has webbed feet and a bill like a duck. It can be up to 20 inches long. So let's see, from the back of its tail, right there. That's not that big.
No, it's not his size that's crazy. He's like a beaver and a duck.
I know, and here's where it gets even crazier.
crazier?
His back feet have little spurs that he can get venom out of. That's poison. So now you took basically a beaver, a duck, and a snake maybe? Like he can poke you and stick you with poison.
My, Mr. Nick.
Now the poison, if you got stung by a platypus, it'll hurt, but it's not enough to really be too dangerous. But they think that maybe they use that just, to let other animals know, hey buddy, back off, don't mess with me. But that's a platypus. That's one of the craziest animals I think I've ever seen. And they're in Australia. All right, here we go. Now we're gonna take a look at another animal. Now kids, have you ever heard of the cartoon character, the Tasmanian Devil? Maybe, right? He spins around and gets all crazy. There is actually an animal called a Tasmanian Devil. Let's take a look at this guy. Whoa, he does not look happy. Now he's the size of about your average house cat, all right? And he is all meat eater. This guy, he has those teeth for a reason. And he's also a marsupial, which means he has his little babies that I think 4 at a time, and then they're like the size of a grain of rice, and they sit in that pouch until they mature. And yeah, it's interesting. Marsupials are just amazing to me. But
most of them seem kind of cuddly and nice, but I don't know about this one.
yeah, this guy not so much. It's a little bit little scary looking, isn't he? Yeah, Tasmanian Devil. Now I see where they got that cartoon character from, because if he's anything like this guy, I could see he looks like a tough guy, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to something that looks a little bit more friendly, like a wombat. Oh wow.
Aww.
Look at that guy.
I like these.
Now wombat is also a marsupial, but this guy's pouch is on his back.
That sounds fun.
It's like a piggyback ride, right? Just in the pouch in the back. These guys, they can get pretty big, but for how big and cuddly they look, they can actually run up to 25 miles an hour for up to 1.5 minutes.
Wow.
25 miles an hour for 1.5 minutes. That is fast, and for a long time. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, that wombat, he's a lot more friendly looking than that Tasmanian Devil. But I always saw the teeth of that Tasmanian Devil. The wombat might be able to put him up a little bit against the Tasmanian Devil, because his teeth never stop growing. Kind of like a gopher. I don't think gopher's teeth stop growing either. I don't know if they like file them down or what, but that's just another interesting fact. All right, so the only type of animal we haven't really talked about yet in Australia, a continent that's surrounded by water, is a fish. So why not talk about the great white shark? What? Yeah, excuse me, yeah. All right, the great white shark. This is the world's largest predatory fish, which means he eats other fish. It can be up to 20 feet long.
Wow.
Yes. And did you know that they have 300 teeth?
Ah!
Wow, 300 teeth, and they're layered in 7 different rows. Oh my, that's amazing. Great white shark. That has gotta be the king of the ocean right there. Okay, so we just talked about our first fish. We haven't talked about a bird yet. A bird that you would see in Australia is an emu. An emu, very similar to the ostrich that we saw in our Africa episode. An emu is the second largest bird in the world, only behind an ostrich. And they can be just over 6 feet tall. And they have 2 sets of eyelids. One for blinking, like that, right? And the other helps keep dust and dirt out of their eyes, which I guess makes sense. If you live out in the middle of Australia, it can probably be pretty dusty out there.
That's really smart and helpful.
Absolutely. Okay, now I said that Australia had some crazy animals, and I think we've seen a few already, but this one might top them all. This is an echidna. Echidna, take a look at that guy. It has spines like a porcupine, a beak like a bird, a pouch like a kangaroo, all the other marsupials we talked about, and lays eggs like a reptile. What? What happened with this guy?
I don't know. I'm very confused.
The eggs hatch after only 10 days in the pouch. And when they hatch, the little babies are smaller than a jelly bean. And they must stay in the pouch, like all the other marsupials, until they mature and they're, big enough to kind of take care of themselves. Australia, you guys have some very interesting animals down there. All right, we are up to our last animal now in our Australian animals episode. And this one, I could just look at it and be amazed. I don't even need to hear anything about it. This is a thorny devil.
Wow.
Wow. Like, what? I'm just speechless. Like, this guy can live in the wild for 20 years, and it seems pretty obvious why. Who would want to eat that? Oh, look at that.
It looks way too thorny.
How do you pick that up? How do you eat that with your mouth? Like, that's amazing. The thorny devil. Look at that.
That's good protection.
That is some protection for real right there. Have you ever tried grabbing a rose and then poked by a thorn? This guy's covered in thorns. It's amazing that. Just smart. Every animal should have that. Good job, Thorny Devil. Very smart. I had so much fun talking about all these animals from Australia today. I learned about and saw so many animals that I'd never seen before. I hope you guys have fun with that. The Echidna, the Tasmanian Devil, the Platypus. Amazing animals that so interesting to learn about. All right, guys, I hope you had a great time today. And now, it's time for the joke of the day. Ready, Allie?
Yes.
Okay. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Kanga.
Kanga who?
Actually, it's Kangaroo.
You got me.
All right, guys, I had a great time with you today. Allie, did you have a great time?
Yes.
Give us a like if you liked the episode. Subscribe to the channel so you see all of the great episodes we're doing. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Mr. Nyck, he's our pig. It's Mr. Nyck, yay!